Hello class, today we're going to go ahead and continue with area. I know you've been working on your parallelograms, your triangles, your trapezoids. Today we're going to work on putting that all together and find the area of composite figures. I posted the notes so that you could get them. You are welcome to have printed them, or you can just grab a sheet of paper and go ahead and draw this figure. This is a composite figure. It just means that it's made up of other polygons put together. Our goal here is to find the area. So the first thing you're going to want to do is to split up into smaller pieces, okay? I'm going to go ahead and use this red line to split mine into this large rectangle and the smaller one. If you were looking at it and you wanted to split it using maybe this orange line, that's a great way to do it as well. It'll get you the right answer. I'm just not going to use that method today, okay? First thing I'm going to do is I know that these are both rectangles. They're both parallelograms. So I know that their area equals base times height, or length times width. If I look at my large rectangle down here, I know that my height is 6 and my base is 8. So I can go ahead and solve this one right now. 8 times 6 equals 48. So I have the whole inside of my large rectangle done. I found the area. Now all I have left is my little one, okay? So it's still a rectangle, so I know its area equals base times height. Right here I see that my base is going to be 4. Then I look here and I don't see a height on either side. So I'm going to have to find that using the information given. I'm told that this is 10 inches, so that means this side would also be 10 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and take 10 minus the 6 inches right here, because I already know that they're being used, to get 4. That means this leftover piece for their height is going to be 4. So my area for my small rectangle is going to be base times height, or 4 times 4, to get me 16. So now that I've found the area of both my smaller polygons, both my smaller figures, I'm going to go ahead and I have to add them together. So I'm going to go ahead and do 48 plus 16. When I add those together, I am going to go ahead and get 64. And they give me units, so I do have to put a label on this one. It's going to be inches. And because it's area, it's going to be squared, or it's going to have my little 2. My final answer for the area of this figure is 64 inches squared. We're going to go ahead and we're going to go to our next problem. So this is our second problem. This is kind of a real-world example of why we care about composite figures. Lauren wants to put down carpet in her bedroom. How many square feet will she need to buy? So we notice Lauren doesn't have just a regular square. She doesn't have just a regular trapezoid or a regular triangle. So we need to be able to find the area so we can tell the carpet people how much we need. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go ahead and split Lauren's room up. Now there are many ways to split this up. I'm going to go ahead and split it using this red line though. There we go. So if we're looking at this, at the bottom here, I have what looks to be a rectangle. It's got my 2 sides. These are parallel. So we're going to go ahead and write down that formula. For my rectangle, the area is going to be base times height, just like before. In this case, my base is going to be 9, while my height is 8. And 9 times 8 gets me 72. Okay? Then I'm ready to go ahead and look at this figure up here. To me, it looks to be a trapezoid. I see it's four-sided. It's got two lines that are parallel, okay? And the other two are not. So I'm going to call it a trapezoid. So I'm going to find the area of my trapezoid. I know Khan told you a couple different formulas. I'm going to go ahead and use this formula. Area of a trapezoid equals 1/2 times base 1 plus base 2 times height. Okay? So right here is going to be base 1. The two parallel lines are my bases. That's always true. This is going to be base 2. This one is perpendicular to my two bases, so it's going to be my height. It's like an N. There we go. So now I just need to make sure that I have all of my numbers. Okay? So if I'm looking at this, it's 9 down here, so it'll also be 9 right here. Okay? And just like before, I had this whole side is equal to 14. So that means this whole side is equal to 14. So I will have to do 14 minus 8. This is going to go ahead and get me 6. So 6 is going to be my height. So now I just need to substitute into my formula. Going to have 1/2 is going to stay the same. Base 1 we said was 5. Plus base 2, which we said was 9. Times height, which we said was 6. So I do have to do parentheses first. So I'm going to go ahead and get 14 I'm going to do my 1/2 times 14 first. It's kind of like 14 divided by 2, so I get 7. 7 times 6 is 42. So again, I've gotten the area of both of my two smaller shapes. Now I just need to add them together. So 72 plus 42. And this is going to get me a total of 114. And of course I need a label because it's a story problem. So 114 feet squared. And that is how much carpet Lauren is going to need for her room. Okay? We're going to go ahead and go to our next problem. All right, and now we're on to our third problem. This time, Merlyn wants to plant new grass seed in his yard. How many square feet will he have to plant? So again, we have to find the area of this figure, this composite shape. Okay? I'm going to again split it. I'm going to split it using my, well, it's going to be red in a second. My red line. I'm going to split it using my red line. Now, there are other ways to do it. This is just, I think, the easiest way. So now I have a triangle and a rectangle. Okay? So let's go ahead and just start with the rectangle because those are the easiest, right? So area equals base times height. And in this case, it's again 9 and 8. 9 times 8 is still 72. And then we're on to our triangle. So our triangle, the area equals 1/2 times base times height. So in this case, I see that my base is going to be 9 because it's on the other side of the rectangle. So right now I have 1/2 times 9, but I don't know the height right now, okay? Because I know it's not 12. I know it's not the whole thing. So right here is my height, and it's going to be just like before. I have to find my missing pieces. So from here to here is 12. That means over here has to be 12 as well. So we're going to do 12 minus 8 to get 4. Okay, so my height is going to be 4. And because 9 times 1/2 is more difficult, because 9 divided by 2 is not even, I'm going to go ahead and stretch it a little bit because of the commutative property of multiplication. 1/2 times 4 is like 4 divided by 2, so it's 2 times 9. And 2 times 9 is 18. And just like before, I have to add these together. So 72 plus 18 is going to get me 90. And of course, it's a story problem, and they gave me units. I have to put my labels. Feet squared. And that is how many square feet Merlyn is going to have to plant. Okay? We're going to go ahead and quickly take a look at our last problem. So this time I need to find the area of just the pink. So I can't split them into two different shapes because one shape is inside the other. So I'm going to start with my large rectangle. And it's going to be, again, base times height. So it's going to be 7 times 13, which is going to get me 91. Okay, and then I need to find the area of my little rectangle, which is right here, this little white one. Okay, call it small rectangle. And it's again base times height, so this time it's 1 times 4. It's going to get me 4. And because this time they were together, I'm going to have to do subtraction. So 91 minus 4 is going to get me 87. And of course, I need a label. So 87 meters squared. There we go. That should be the end of your notes, and you should be able to go on to the next task for the day.